Hi, good night. We will wait like 5 minutes and see if someone connect.
Good night. Okay.
Okay, good night. Let's get started. As you saw yesterday, I am quite fucked. I am not feeling so good. So if you prefer, we can do like a session without cameras because for sure I'm not in the position to show you how bad I am. I'm so sure that you understand. So if you prefer, you can turn on your camera, but if you not, you can just be lay in bed and paying attention to all the concepts that we will work tonight. So that sounds good for you. Me
It's
siento
fine,
un
Gary.
poquito, gracias, me siento un poquito destruida entre el periodo y un aparente COVID, no sé. Entonces quisiera dictar la clase hoy solamente por audios, porque me siento muy mal físicamente y anímicamente no estoy en 10 por en 100%, pero estoy haciendo el esfuerzo para estar aquí, para cumplirles. Entonces.
Gali, perdón que te corte. Si te sientes muy mal, yo creo que tampoco mis compañeras van a tener ningún problema de cancelar la clase para la próxima.
Oh, you are so lovely. But
Sí,
en este
si
momento
te sientes muy
necesito,
mal.
gracias, tan divinas. Yo sé
De
que sí,
verdad,
por un
no hay
momento lo pensé,
problema.
pero imagínense que me toca cumplir con el 15 porque inicio otras sesiones, entonces no me quiero atrasar más. Así que no se preocupen, o sea, estoy bien, solamente no quisiera que vieran mi decadencia. O sea, estoy bien mentalmente para hacerlo, pero físicamente estoy como con ganas de morir. Así que no se preocupen, la puedo hacer, por eso tomé la decisión de hacerla, pero les quiero proponer que por hoy hagamos clase sin cámaras para
Está bien,
cuidar
Dani. No te
mi,
preocupes.
mi
Incluso tal vez
integridad.
podamos correr un poquito más, como lo tenemos grabado. Así acabamos más antes y puedes descansar.
Oh, you are so beautiful, all of you. Thank you, girls. But duty is a duty. So today will be like kind of podcast. We'll be focused all our attention in just the information that I want to share with you. Before start, it's so important that we keep in our minds the influence that has the whole economical systems in our profession, also in the Valeria's profession. Why? Because as the economical sectors has been guided by the governments, they have the obligation to regulate some economical factors that, of course, affects criminality, affects assets o bienes. Vamos a escribir, vamos a comenzar a escribir. Assets. Sí, también podemos hablar de afectaciones que de una u otra manera, este tema, aunque pareciera que no tiene mucha relación con el derecho, la verdad es que sí. Así que, for today, we will start to discuss some economical issues or some economical matters. Do you know what is the function of the banks in a society? Who tells me? What kind of things do the banks? So simple, not from a lawyer point of view, just from a simple one. What is the function of the banks in a society?
Lend money. They can help you to open account, transacciones,
Yeah,
uh,
transactions.
transaction. You can earn money if you deposit, like plazo fijo.
Yeah, if you save
Um,
money.
Put in order the economy and help the
I
citizens
save,
save the money.
sorry, save money. Okay, something more?
Help the economic system of the city or the country and make more safer
Okay.
all that is related with the economy.
Okay, nice. The first of all, and something that we need to keep always in our minds, is that the banks exist basically for win more money. They can make businesses or transactions with people, but also with businesses and also with the state. So in order of have a correct economy, we shares, we create businesses, we buy, we sell, we interchange stuff because it's how it's supposed to be. It's how society tell you that you should at a certain age. Like buy your own car, have your own apartment, your own house, travel, study, blah, blah, blah. And this is the base on how unequal are our societies. We know that is hundreds and millions of people are around the world, but just a little percentage can have that economical freedom. Then we have the working class, that is the group of people that belongs to the middle, and the ones that are emergent or also they are on the base of this triangle of economics. If we talk about theoretical stuff, we know that we have some.
I don't know if you are sharing screen, but I can see
No,
anything.
no
No?
worries. I'm not sharing. I am just
Okay.
talking.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just
Thank
talking. When we talk about inflation or deflation, that are some terms that we saw at economy, but when we start to make our own money and to spend our own money, we figure out all the changes that has been existing in a sector. Okay, I want to show you something. Give me a second. One of the biggest problems that we have in our societies are that we have an economy that is based in other scenarios, and that is based in extraction, or that is based in products that we can't produce. We just give the base o la materia prima. ¿Ok? Entonces, como nosotros damos esta materia prima, es el problema de Colombia, es el problema de muchos países en Latinoamérica, damos la materia prima barata y compramos el producto caro. Eso ayuda mucho a que nosotros no podamos salir de ese círculo vicioso, por decirlo así, que es lo que significa el subdesarrollo en sí. Esperen un segundo. When we talk about raw materials, or raw material es la materia prima. You can also talk about base industry. And in my country, the most of the things that are related with economy are the oil and gas industry. But I always like to check how is the system, right? So I know that this sounds so boring, but we have here year. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Understand? Okay.
Yes.
We have here the year, and here we have the daily salary, the monthly salary, and the variation. Okay, this is like a lot of economical terms and etc. But we will start to going down. Okay. Give me a second. Here, you can see this one, the US.
Yes.
Okay, you can saw that in 2014, the minimum salary in my country were $308. So that means that if we make the comparison with how much money you can earn for the minimum salary in my country, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, you are winning less than other couple of years before. And that is how we should to try to understand our economies. In Colombia, we have a variation of the dollar because it's not regulated by the state. But in Bolivia, you have a rate that is $6.96 for each Bolivian. That means that even when we don't believe it, your economy is stronger than mine. Because as you can see, one working class person needs to work the same amount of time interchanging their own attitudes or skills or knowledge for X amount of money. In this case, you can see that every year is less because we have a huge inflation. What is inflation? ¿Qué significa inflación? Súper básico. ¿Quién me dice así súper sencillo? ¿Qué es inflación? ¿Saben?
Cuando
Because
los
of the economy that puts in a state of disequilibrium, the economical system, I don't know how can I say, la producción y la demanda no tienen relación.
Okay. So, here, demand, offer and demand. Okay. Yes. So we can talk about inflation or deflation. We are talking about inflation because basically the local money every time is less valuable than other rates around the world. Significa que cada día, por oferta y por demanda, inflación es exceso. ¿Sí? Perdón. Inflación es que va descendiendo el peso local versus una divisa mucho más fuerte. En mi caso, en Colombia, lo que manda la parada es el dólar y el euro. ¿Por qué? Because all our industries are based on not the people, the Colombian people doesn't invest in Colombia. The people that comes to create businesses are from other countries and they have external investments and that take influence about the amount of money that is moving around. Also, some people and some economical and people that study economy and professors and experts in this area, they analyze how cocaine can take influence in our systems and how the Colombian money is every time less valuable than the US. If you check this column, you can check how in 17 years or a little bit more, we talk about millions. Entonces, estos son 332,000 pesos colombianos. Y fue subiendo hasta que hoy el salario mínimo está en 1,000,000. Pero al pasarlo a dólares, se pueden dar cuenta que cada vez el país va en una curva decreciente. La deflación es lo contrario, es el exceso. Como hay un exceso de oferta, puede provocar una disminución generalizada de los precios. Es decir, hay muchísimo billete circulando, entonces es más barato en relación al dólar. ¿Sí? When we talk about this kind of percentage, I don't want that this class sounds boring, but this is something that happens in a country because we can analyze their direct with US dollars. We can check how these take influence in our countries. And every time the percentage of variation is higher and higher, but also the taxes. And that is the topic that we will check tonight. Can you check my screen? Are you seeing my screen right now?
Yes.
The presentation?
Yes.
No, the presentation, no, it's only
Okay.
the same tabla.
Yeah, okay. No worries, always happens. Okay, so all the terms that I take tonight, because this is not my field, I just study some economical assets because it's my personal growth. It's important to see how you make your own money. And all, I am not talking about invest, bitcoins, and all that bullshit. The economical systems has a structure. You can follow it, and you need to figure out how makes that works for you. Your credit cards, your debit cards, the credits that are you taking, the benefits that you can take from the government in order to create a new business or to invest or to try to move the economy. So I take the decision to use all the information from taxpolicycenter.org organization, briefing books /glossary. So you can Google it and you will find a lot of information in English, of course, that will help you to understand this world. I always like to talk about these topics because I don't know if we discussing this at some point of our lesson, and for me it sounds incredible how even if I break my ass working so hard in my country, someone that is a waitress or someone that is working in a restaurant, for if we put it in dollars or if we put it in money, for the whole work that I can create or that I can do, all the effort that I can do monthly, literally breaking my ass and doing my job so focused, I can win the same amount of money in 5 days in other part of the world doing something that doesn't demand a lot of mental effort. So in order to get illustrations, I start to show a lot of videos related with work and holidays, visas, scholarships, blah, 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 in order to get out of Colombia. Then, you know what happens. I take the decision to use that money to travel in Latin America, but I'm always having that in my mind. We need to understand that all the economical institutions has influence in the social reality that we get, and also take influence in violence that can have a country, in the violence that can have a sector, in the rules that shows a society. I told you that in a month, some people, bad people, brought me twice in my country. That has like a lot of structural problems that I would like that we take more time to discuss. But economy has a really fundamental role when we are talking about this. So we will discuss tonight. We will discuss tonight about taxes and some economical terms that will help us to understand how the market works and how we should give to the advice to the companies that we want to represent. So, el primer concepto que nosotros vamos a hablar esta noche es relativo a la plena competencia. La plena competencia es un término económico que se refiere a que en un mercado competitivo como el que nosotros tenemos en nuestros países, no se debe dar lugar a beneficios extremos a sus operaciones y cuyo tratamiento se enfoca en un precio de transferencia equitativo, donde las fuerzas del mercado determinan normalmente las condiciones de sus relaciones comerciales, oferta y demanda. ¿Qué significa plena competencia? Que una industria, un sector o una persona, si yo vendo empanadas a un boliviano, significa que yo no puedo competir con una persona que los vende a, yo no me acuerdo si hay una moneda más pequeña que un boli, creo que no, ¿o sí? ¿50? No me acuerdo. Ayúdenme ahí.
10 centavos.
50 centavos, ok.
10 centavos.
Miércoles, ya lo olvidé por completo. Ese es el mejor ejemplo. Yo no puedo vender empanadas a un boli si la señora al lado está vendiéndolas a 10 centavos. Por X o Y motivo. Resulta que la señora tenía que hacer muchas empanadas, hizo de más y se va a perder si se lo lleva a la casa. Entonces prefiere en vez de regalarlo ganar algo, ¿verdad? Eso no es competencia. Para que exista plena competencia significa que en ese mercado competitivo debe haber una transferencia equitativa de divisas, una transferencia equitativa de bienes o una transferencia equitativa de servicios. Cuando nosotros hablamos en inglés de servicios, entonces tenemos services, we have assets, que son activos, we have passives, we have incomes, que son como las entradas de dinero, y lo más importante, we have profits, que son las ganancias. Entonces es muy importante. ¿Ok? Then we have debts, we have transactions, etc. But here, sorry. But here, we need to understand how the market works in your society, in your little town, will work around the world. This is so important. How we will call it plena competencia en inglés. We will call it full competition trades. Entonces, una persona no puede tener ganancias exuberantes comprando un producto muy barato y vendiendo súper caro el mismo producto. ¿Por qué? Porque se tienen que tener otros costos, que son impuestos, transportes, depreciaciones, mano de obra. El único término así como mamón es depreciación. ¿Qué es la depreciación? Es la moneda local versus una moneda que de manera gubernamental o de manera tradicional está siendo impuesta en X o Y gobierno. ¿Ok? How we call it? Depreciation. ¿Ok? Taxes, transport, depreciation, or labor. ¿Ok? Until here, everything is clear. It's so boring. Let me know.
No, it's fine.
It's fine. Eso que dijiste, este último término sería la devaluación, un sinónimo de devaluación, ¿no?
Yep. Yep. They are synonyms. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same. Means the same. Okay. As I told you, I really like to use some examples that becomes to real lives where you can find it. These ones that I am showing you tonight are from or taken by Europe.eu. Entonces tenemos estas dos definiciones. Efectos distorsionadores del dumping. ¿Ustedes se acuerdan que lo discutimos? ¿Qué era dumping? Did you remember it? ¿Se acuerdan?
Yes.
Miren apuntes, miren apuntes.
Yeah. Okay. Dumping is when big companies may make many offers and hacen quebrar las más pequeñas.
Yeah, they try to make that the little ones goes in bankruptcy. Yes, when we talk about dumping, it's because some really strong factors in a society can manage the whole market. I remember that, I cannot remember the exact example that I take that night, but imagine that, I don't know, in Bolivia, can you please remember me or remind me which ones are the cell phone companies in your country? Enel. Ay, no me acuerdo. Ya fue hace mucho tiempo. Dios. ¿Cuáles son las compañías de telefonía celular en sus países?
Tenemos Viva, Entel, Tigo.
Okay. So imagine that when Tigo comes to the market, they need to arrive with a really competitive price to make that the whole people trust on their services that they were offering, right? So the other companies, in order to make that Tigo never can go into the economical system in Bolivia, can put their prices so low and make that the new one go to bankruptcy. That is dumping, when the strongest one take bad actions or act with bad faith to make that starting business, a new one, get to bankruptcy. Okay? So, los efectos distorsionados del dumping y bla, 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 restauran la competencia comercial leal entre todos los operadores de la comunidad. Okay? The distortioning effect of injurious dumping and restore fair trade competition. Fair trade competition es como una competencia comercial justa. ¿Sí? Cuando en español nosotros decimos competencia, cuando hay competencia comercial, la misma palabra competencia me está diciendo que están actuando de buena fe. ¿Sí? Si yo digo competencia desleal en materia comercial, competencia desleal es la manera en la que nos referimos a un acto de mala fe. Pero en inglés es diferente. En inglés, como pueden ver, tenemos fair trade competition. Es necesario que digamos que es de buena fe para que se entienda. Porque la competencia puede ser justa o injusta. Entonces, fair, o in this case, fair trade competition or unfair trade competition. I will put it in the chat. Unfair trade competition. Ay, competition. ¿Ok? Eso es algo que varía entre el inglés y el español. En español no es necesario. Yo puedo decir competencia y cuando digo competencia estoy hablando de plena competencia o competencia en materia comercial. También puedo estar haciendo referencia a falta de competencia o competencia desleal, ¿verdad? Pero la palabra competencia me está indicando que se puede competir en el mercado, que hay circunstancias para poder hacer competencia. So when we talk about fair trade competitions, it's not necessary that in Spanish we put like that act of good faith. It's not necessary at all. The other example, the economic rules concern the operation of the markets and affect all types of intervention by state, competition, trade sectors, or investments. Here we have other words that we doesn't check it before. Inversiones. Inversiones. Juanita is investing money. Investing with your aunt, but the verb is invest. Invertir. Okay. Trade sectors, comercio, comercio, ¿ok? Entonces, el funcionamiento de los mercados y afectan todos los sectores, intervención del Estado, competencia, comercio e inversiones. Intervention by the state, when the state needs to take advantage of it. When the difference is so huge between dollars and the local asset or the local value, the government comes to regulate across an intervention. That was the case of Bolivia. You have a governmental intervention with the dollar. For that reason, you have so balanced the economy because all the difference between the dollar between the Bolivian is covered by the government. For that reason, I guess that for more than 10 years, the dollar in your country doesn't change. So when I have this discussion with my colleagues and with my friends about why are you living in Bolivia? Why you doesn't come to Colombia, blah, blah, blah. I am not lying, but with the amount of money that I can win in Bolivia, I can live so perfectly, you know, like I can rent my apartment, I can travel, I can buy my food, I can make my life so easier. With that, I say, with the same amount of money, if I want to live in Colombia, it's so hard. I can't, in my country, in my city especially, it's no way that I can rent an apartment because that is the half or this minimum, the 60% of my salary. So put that I buy my own food, so I will be fucked. I will be just working to pay my bills, and that doesn't make any sense. And the people have this perception that, of course, Bolivia has some economical and structural problems, but in Bolivia you can save in dollars, and you have not been afraid that the dollar is going down or is going up. You can invest a lot of money easier, and you have a lot of advantages, okay? So this is so important. When someone can give you an external opinion, it's so nice. My country is almost fucked. We have a lot of problems with inflation, deflation, credits, all the taxes that the people need to pay are increasing. All the rates that we need to pay, the rates, esta palabra creo que tampoco la hemos visto. Las tasas que nosotros estamos en obligación de pagar al gobierno son muy altas. Nosotros tenemos esto, nosotros lo hemos visto, de VAT, que es el IVA. Nosotros pagamos 19% over any kind of good product or service that we need to pay. That is a lot of money. And that is just my case, no? If you talk with Argentinian people right now, they are going across an economical disorder right now also. If you talk about this with some Brazilians ones, you will figure out that they are having their own issues, that at some point the Bolivian were stronger than the real. And we don't, we don't talk about Venezuela. That is another story. But something so important that I really like, I don't know if I am so freaky, but I really like to check this kind of stuff. I don't know if you, maybe some of you can talk about it, but en Venezuela, hace muchos años, pues obviamente nosotros tenemos frontera, we share border with Venezuela, and we know how they were at some point. A lot of Colombians travel there to work and to win more money because at some point they were so successful because of the oil, gas, and before all the political influence. But they were so successful country, and the amount of money that they win there. I don't know if I can show you. Let me see. I want that you check that because maybe if someone teach me economy in this way, not with a lot of terms that I never understand, and maybe because now I'm more related with these topics just because I am becoming more adult each time. I need to figure out how invest, how I will create my own life. In the case, for example, of renting an apartment, for me, it's like no way. I never will do that because that is paying for other one's dreams, and I prefer paying for they pay, for example, pay monthly by building my own dreams. But that is just a personal perception. If you check here, in 1974 and also 19 in the 80s decade, they win $200 monthly. And if you check, that is almost the salary that we are having right now in my country. We are around $250, the minimum one. So this shows you how in less than 10 years, sorry, in less than 20, your whole economical system can be fucked. I guess that the minimum salary in Venezuela is around, I don't know, $2 monthly. ¿Ustedes saben eso? ¿Tienen idea? Se les había pasado, miren. Ellos mensualmente ganan $2.50 en su sistema económico, ¿no? Esos serían, bueno, en bolivianos, no sé, 15 bolis al mes.
Sí, más o menos 15.
Es ridículo. And I have been, because here as we have borders with Venezuela, we live this crisis in a really deeper way, more than in other countries, because the people that comes to my country can't have passport, can have a legal way to, or a regular status in my country. But it's just so crazy. I have been listening a lot of histories about how they had to sell everything. They build their lives there, and then in a moment your home and all your savings becomes nothing. So I really like to talk about economy from this way. Maybe you don't like it. This is part of the workshop, but it's the way that I move and I try to understand the economy. And for understand the economy, you need to understand how is your country talking about money. Where is the money coming from in your country? Right? Because that affects. Dumping, we talk about it. So please Don't forget it. The practice of selling goods in another country so cheaply that companies in country cannot compete fairly, also in the same country. So we were discussing the example that in India, someone get paid $1 per day for create a lot of clothes, and this create a phenomenon called fast fashion. I don't know if we discussed this. I guess that yes.
Yes, we talk about that.
Fast fashion, yes. And this is basically a way of dumping, but that includes different countries. If I create or I buy a lot of clothes that are coming from India for $1 each, and I try to sell it $20 in my own country, but the manufacturer, the local manufacturer, can make that the same clothes be sold in 50. There's no way that you can compete in that scenario. So for that reason, import and export for all the weak economies like us in Latin America, being involved with a lot of problems and a lot of issues. Monopolies. This is not a game. A legal monopoly arises when the company receives a patent giving in exclusive use of an invented product or process for a limited time. Under monopolistic competition, many sellers offer differentiated products or products that differ slightly but serve similar purposes by making consumers aware of product differences. Sellers exert some control over price. We will imagine about these companies that produce toilet paper, but they also produce Pampers, but they also produce skincare products for babies and for adults, but also they produce Pampers for old ones. Es una competición monopolística, porque es tanto su poder que no encuentran manera de encontrar competidores. No pueden encontrar competidores, porque puede que el papel higiénico X o Y lo venda un poco más barato, pero se recupera el mismo monopolio mediante los Kleenex o mediante los pañales para adultos o para niños. Esto se ve muchísimo en mi país. And it's so easy to find monopolies. It's different an oligopoly. A few sellers supply a sizable portion of products in the market. They exert some control over price, but became their products are similar. When one company lowers prices, the others follows. Imagine that all of us sells toilet paper and we can make dumping so easy. Because if someone is coming, we can have complete control for the price because all the customers and consumers need us. Imagínense que en nuestro país vivimos todos en un país y solamente tenemos 4 marcas de papel higiénico. Si una baja el precio, todas lo tienen que bajar. Sí, eso es un oligopolio. Mismo producto. Y los vendedores llenan esas porciones de productos del mercado. Y si es necesario bajar los precios, se habla que el oligopolio generalmente tienen contactos. Estos fenómenos económicos están muy relacionados con el derecho y con políticas públicas, ¿ok? If maybe you are asking yourself why we are checking this. So in a monopoly, there is only one seller in the market. The market could be a geographical area, such as city or a regional area, and does not necessarily have to be an entire country. The single seller is able to control prices. Imagine that in Oruro, just one person sells charqui. So as they have an economical support and also control, the monopoly allows to the people get up the prices without any kind of problem because has not competitors, so can take advantage from the customer. Ok. ¿Hasta aquí todo claro? ¿Están durmiendo?
Yes. No, it's fine.
Okay. Competent. First, in general, able to act in the circumstances, including the ability to perform a job or occupation or make decisions. But also a competent means mentally able to understand and execute a document. Execute, ejecutar. Entonces, una persona competente puede ser una persona que tiene la habilidad de desarrollar un trabajo, una ocupación o tomar ciertas decisiones, pero también que se encuentra able, que es capaz mentalmente de entender y de ejecutar un documento, obligación, responsabilidad. Eso es una persona competente. Para Valeria es muy importante que nosotros tengamos, esto es una parte esencial de un contrato. This is one of the most important things in a contract. When we are talking about civil contracts or whatever contract that we want to create, the parts need to have this perception about what they are making, what kind of business they are doing, what are the profit, basically understand what they are doing. For that reason, some people is not available to make contracts or create duties. Cash accounting. Los ingresos se informan en el año en el que se reciben y los gastos se deducen en el año en el que se pagan. Esto es un principio de la economía. Los ingresos se informan en el año en el que se reciben. Es pura declaración de renta e impuestos. Y los gastos se deducen en el año en el que se pagan. Por ejemplo, yo compro una casa hoy. En teoría, es an income. En teoría es un ingreso. Pero los impuestos yo los voy a pagar en el momento en el que el gasto se configura. Es decir, yo puedo comenzar a pagar mi apartamento, por 3 años, y en el momento en el que yo firmo las escrituras es cuando yo tengo que declararle al gobierno que ya ese bien me pertenece. When we talk about cash accounting, we need to have this principle always in mind. Income is reported the year that is received, and expenses are deducted in the year that they are paid. For that reason, we pay taxes. In 2022, we pay the whole taxes about the goods and services that we acquire from September 2021 until September 2022. Okay, but it's paid maybe at the beginning of 2023. Tax court. In our countries, it's not common that we have tax court. We have some agencies or offices that belong to the government, and they try to oversee that everybody is paying their taxes for the goods and services, for their cars, for their houses, for their salary. In Colombia, if you win an X amount of money, you need to declare that you are winning that money. It's not necessary that you pay, but you need to inform to the government that that money is coming to you monthly. And you have some limits also with your transactions. We have a lot of control. For me, it was so incredible. I had an account in Banco Unión, and I cannot believe it. How they cannot ask for payment, for monthly payment, in order to administrate your money. For me, that was incredible because here always you need to pay minimum $3 monthly. And also for me was so incredible how in Bolivia you can save and the bank is paying you a lot of interest. Les voy a dar un ejemplo. En mi país yo ahorro 100, tengo que pagar en un mes, ¿no? Entonces tengo que pagar $3, eso es como 20.000, entonces ya no tengo 100, ya tengo 980. Pero aparte hay un impuesto, like a tax, that is called for cross 1,000. Significa que por 4 por 1,000 se llama. Por cada 4, yo tengo que pagar 4 pesos por cada 1,000 pesos que yo tenga en mi cuenta. Significa que nunca hay rentabilidad. La rentabilidad es, por ejemplo, 10 pesos y el gobierno me cobra 20 pesos por administrar mi plata. Así que esos 100 nunca son 100. A fin de mes terminan siendo como 950. No tiene sentido ahorrar. In Bolivia happens the opposite. I saw it, and if you put 50 Bolivians in 1 month, you can have 51. And it's not necessary that you pay to the bank that take care of your own money. I don't know why, but that happens. And it's like, wow, it's so incredible. I just want to live in Bolivia. For me, it was completely new. Talking about taxes, okay? So in my country and in your country also, we don't have this tax court. Tax court exists so strong in Canada, Australia, all of Europe, but in the most strongest, or the strongest one, is Germany. And in Latin America, we have offices that belongs to the government. So a court that is having jurisdiction over questions of law and fact arising, sugiriendo, significa eso, esa palabrita, under the tax laws of a government. They will oversee that all the citizens are paying their taxes. Happens in Europe, but they have a really good quality on their lives, because the 100% of the salary, imagine that the 40 or the 35% is being paid on taxes. For that reason, their own citizens can have a really good health system, can have a good education, can have a lot of social programs. If someone become an employee, can have a subsidiary method taken by the state because of all the taxes that the people are paying. And also some people doesn't pay. We will call about all these famous stars that win millions of dollars, and they start to have some ONG or some non-governmental organization for make donations. That is a way to make that the taxes get lower, okay? When we talk about tax evasion, estamos hablando de evasión de impuestos, pero también evasión fiscal. Todos los temas fiscales son los que están relacionados con el dinero. Los temas fiscales del Estado. Un voluntarioso intento criminal por evadir la imposición o el pago de un impuesto. Condenado por evasión fiscal. This is an example taken by a newspaper. A willful and criminal attempt to evade the imposition or payment of a tax. Convicted of tax evasion. Okay. We can also have tax fraud, que es un delito que consiste en intentar deliberadamente evadir o anular el pago de impuestos adeudados. It's a national offense of willfully attempting to evade or defeat the payment of taxes due and owing. Los impuestos adeudados. Okay. The National Tax Service Office is under the supervision of the Ministry of Finance, el Ministerio de Hacienda, in your country. It is subject to the economic, fiscal, and tax policy defined by the President, having to meet the institutional goals, objectives, and results set by the Minister of Finance. Why is important taxes? Because from there is the money that the government can invest in social programs, in infrastructure, in new roads for your country, and etc. So as you can check, if you doesn't have tax court, you have a national office. Se sujeta a la política económica y fiscal y tributaria definida por el Poder Ejecutivo, debiendo cumplir las metas, objetivos y resultados institucionales que fije el Ministerio de Hacienda. ¿Ok? Then we have something more that is called capital cost recovery. Esto es lo que se llama en español el impuesto sobre la renta. Es decir, que algunas características de este impuesto sobre la renta están destinadas a permitir a las empresas deducir con el tiempo los costos de los activos de capital tangible que se utilizan para producir ingresos. Es similar a una reserva por depreciación. Esto se escucha re aburrido. Pero que es importante aquí entender que es cuánto a mí me va a costar si yo le presto 100 a Laura. Perdón, 100 a Valeria. Se me cruzaron los cables. Si yo le presto 100 a Valeria y Valeria me dice, Gali, te devuelvo en un mes 120, significa que ese mes, it's my capital cost recovery. Y estoy recuperando ese valor de los activos en el paso del tiempo. ¿Sí? Entonces no entendamos como, ay, la depreciación y no sé qué mierda. No, es cuánto me va a costar a mí recuperar mi capital. Y eso es la base de los intereses. Luego hay intereses compuestos, intereses mixtos, intereses a la renta, intereses que eso no lo vamos a ver ahorita. Pero es importante que ustedes lo tengan en mente. Now in English. Income tax features intend to allow businesses to deduct over time the cost of tangible capital assets. ¿Qué dijimos que era assets? ¿Quién recuerda? ¿Quién recuerda qué significa assets? ¿Aló? ¿Hay alguien aquí?
Yes.
Don't remember.
I remember to.
Activos, muchachos, activos. Activos. Assets. That are used to produce income. It is similar to a depreciation allowance, except that depreciation is a principle relates to the timing of the deductions to change in asset value over time. ¿Qué es la depreciación? Es el cambio del dinero en el tiempo. ¿Por qué yo hago que Valeria me pague 120? Porque resulta que con los 100 que yo compro hoy unos tenis, en un año los mismos tenis me van a costar 150. Entonces, como yo le voy a prestar por 5 meses a Valeria, lo mínimo es que cuando me regrese esa plata, yo puedo comprar los mismos tenis. Eso es la teoría de los impuestos y de las, ¿cómo se llama esto? Intereses. Los intereses nacen, primero, para hacer más ricos a los bancos, cada vez más ricos, pero además para cobrar esa pérdida de oportunidad en el poder adquisitivo. Es decir, si un banco me presta a mí $10,000 por 5 años, significa que ese dinero ellos dejaron de invertirlo en otras cosas. Y la manera en la que yo les puedo devolver esa pérdida en otros negocios va a ser a través del pago de intereses. Por esa razón, generalmente hay un porcentaje estipulado por el gobierno, 5%, 7%, 10%, lo cual es terrible porque pues te quieren mantener esclavo, ¿no? Yo no sé hasta qué punto, no sé si me escucho muy izquierdosa con mis comentarios, pero para eso nos metieron en nuestra cabeza esos niveles de éxito que siempre quieres más, siempre quieres los nuevos zapatos, siempre quieres otra ropa, siempre quieres otro carro, cuando ya tienes ese carro quieres el siguiente, cuando ya tienes ese siguiente quieres una camioneta, cuando ya no quieres comprarte un jet, siempre es ese tema de querer más y de nunca conformarte. Y hay dos opciones, o tú tienes la plata o no la tienes. So in these two scenarios, you have the money, you buy whatever, your new jet. But if you doesn't have the money, you will be a fucking slave of the system, paying something because you want it. Okay? A slave. You know what means a slave? A slave. You know what means? Esclavo. Lastimosamente nos volvemos esclavos de comprar y de tener y de querer siempre más. And it's important that we analyze, I really need it, I really want it, this is something that I really, really wanted, or I prefer doesn't have 20 pair of shoes, but can go to visit, I don't know, Spain. Maybe for some people it's stupid to change the car every year, but for some people that is one of the basics. And that is like our economical system works. Budget. Ese es mi presupuesto. ¿Qué incluye el presupuesto? La entrada, los gastos y la ganancia. Yo gano 50 bolis. Mis gastos diarios son 20 bolis. Mi ganancia son 30 bolis. El profit is the result about your expenses deducted by the income. Okay? And it's so important that when we talk about some healthy financial status, we cannot expend more money than we win, because for that reason is that we have debts with banks. Unless you are paying for a good, like an apartment, a house or something that will get more value. But a car, you buy a car and from the beginning that you go into the car, the price goes down. So that is, it's not an active, it's a passive. ¿Ok? No sé, ¿cuál es la diferencia entre activo y pasivo? Que el activo crece y el pasivo se deprecia. Cada vez que yo me subo al carro, le estoy aumentando kilometraje, estoy afectando su propio funcionamiento y al momento de venderlo, me lo van a comprar por mucho menos de lo que yo lo pagué. La diferencia con un activo es que la casa, la finca raíz, va a tender a valorizarse. ¿Sí? So, income, the money that is coming, expense, the money that is going out, and profit, the result. That belongs to the budget. And it's also for companies. The companies, they have their own budget. El presupuesto. Capitalization. An increase or decrease in the value of an asset arising from tax or subsidy provision. Example, the mortgage interest deduction may increase demand for housing and push up their price. That is, part of the subsidy capital is capitalized into home prices. La deducción de los intereses hipotecarios, ¿cómo se dice hipoteca? Mortgage. Mortgage, like this. Puede aumentar la demanda de la vivienda y hacer subir su precio, es decir, parte del subsidio se capitaliza en los precios de la vivienda. Esto es pura oferta y demanda. La hipoteca es una garantía real. It's the warranty of a business that you do with the bank the most of the times. The mortgage, la hipoteca. The purpose of this insurance, seguro, is to protect the mortgage lender if the buyer fails to pay the mortgage. El propósito de este seguro es para la protección del prestamista hipotecario en caso que el comprador no pague la hipoteca. ¿Ok? Un aumento o disminución en el valor de un activo que surge de una provisión de un impuesto o subsidios, por ejemplo, la deducción de intereses hipotecarios, puede aumentar la demanda de vivienda y hacer subir su precio. Esto quiere decir que parte del subsidio se capitaliza en los precios de la vivienda. ¿Qué pasa? Si el gobierno les dice, todos los que me compren vivienda antes de los 30 años, el gobierno va a pagar el 20% de la vivienda, va a significar que muchas personas van a querer comprar vivienda. Y como muchas van a estar buscando, se van a subir los precios de la vivienda. De modo que si estamos hablando de préstamos hipotecarios, el banco nunca va a perder, porque más personas se van a endeudar por más valor. Porque si Pepito, Juanita y Perenganito tienen el preaprobado del banco y los tres están buscando el mismo apartamento, se van a comenzar a aplicar leyes de oferta y de demanda. Okay, until here everything is clear.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Consumption tax. Tax on goods or services. Most consumption taxes are levied, recaudados by states and local governments as retail sale taxes, but also exist some excise taxes. The value added tax, VAT, value added tax, eso significan las iniciales, que en español es IVA, ¿sí? Impuesto al valor agregado. En inglés, value added tax, is a consumption that is common in the rest of the world, ¿ok? ¿Qué es IVA? Es un porcentaje que se paga adicional por adquirir el producto o servicio. Si yo voy a comer a un restaurante y mi cena vale 100 bolivianos, tengo que pagar el 19% sobre esa cena. ¿Ok? Excise taxes significa impuestos sobre consumos específicos. Por ejemplo, el alcohol tiene unos impuestos específicos. Los bienes tienen unos impuestos específicos. Si yo no tengo una casa, yo no tengo que pagar ese impuesto. Pero si yo tengo una casa, tengo que pagar, aquí en Colombia se llama impuesto predial, but basically it's pay taxes because it's the way that I contribute to the state to make subsidiary programs for the people that cannot have a house or that cannot have a good or cannot have an economical position. Okay, cannot have study, cannot have health. It happens in my country. I pay 16% of my deductions, and 14 is for me, but 2% is for the people that cannot afford a health system. Entonces son sistemas mixtos donde el que tiene trata de apoyar al que menos tiene, ¿verdad? Excise taxes. In Bolivia, we have excise taxes in alcoholic drinks, cigarettes, cosmetics products, jewelry, cars, and more. Joyería. Es esta palabrita. Jewelry. Then we have other taxes that are progressive. So the tax structure or policy in which either person with high incomes pay a larger percentage of their income in tax than persons with lower incomes, or where persons with high incomes receive a smaller share of tax relief than a person with lower incomes. ¿Qué significa esto? Que la persona que más gana es la persona que más paga impuestos. La persona que menos gana, pues está exenta de pagar ciertos impuestos también. Eso significa progresividad en los impuestos. Significa que cuando yo voy a pagar impuestos, la persona que más tiene, pues por obvias razones, va a tener menos alivios en los pagos. ¿Sí ven? Where persons with high incomes receive a smaller share of tax relief. Tax relief significa como, ay, no sé, como descanso en impuestos, como relief, literalmente es como descansar, como tener un alivio. ¿Sí? Relief significa alivio, aliviado. Entonces, una persona que tiene se siente aliviado en el pago de sus impuestos, es porque menos tiene, es porque menos impuestos tiene que pagar. Tax relief significa deducción de impuestos. That is the case of Shakira, for example. She can win millions of euros monthly, but she has a couple of organizations to support children in Colombia. So that is a good act that checks the office or the tax office and analyze that she is contributing enough with the development of a region, so it's not necessary that pay more taxes. Entonces se hace alguna reducción en los impuestos. Then we have regressive tax, a tax that imposes a higher burden on lower income taxpayers than it does on higher income taxpayers. This is the opposite of progressive. Significa que los que tienen menos dinero pagan más impuestos y que los que tienen mucho no pagan impuestos. ¿Por qué? Porque el gobierno a veces hace eso. El gobierno dice, bueno, Sutano, que eres multimillonario en México, vente para mi país, no vas a pagar impuestos por 3 años, pero invierte. Entonces, este es un ejemplo de un impuesto regresivo, en el cual el gobierno cede parte de esa ganancia para obtener un beneficio. Y este impuesto regresivo, por ejemplo, es el BTA, los IVAs. Porque si yo gano 1,000 bolis al mes y otra persona gana 50,000 bolis al mes, los dos vamos a pagar el mismo IVA. Entonces es un impuesto regresivo, porque es un impuesto que va en contra de, pues, de lo justo, ¿no? We will leave it until here tonight because we had a lot of information and I can understand that it's quite boring. So before you leave, I please need to ask you that fulfill the survey that right now is open. Espero hayan entendido. Espero no haya sido muy aburrido para ustedes.
Gali, una consulta. Hoy teníamos speech, Valeria y yo. No sé si lo vamos a dar hoy o la próxima clase.
Sí, hagámoslo hoy, de una vez.
Ok.
Entonces, ustedes deciden quién se queda primero.
If Valeria doesn't have problem, I can start.
It's okay. I'm going to leave.
Ok, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Entonces nos vemos mañana. Muchísimas gracias por su tiempo y me quedo con Andrea y espero a Valeria en 15 minutos.
Ok.
¿Listo? Bueno, muchísimas gracias. Okay, Andrea. So the topic that we will discuss tonight is about cybersecurity law and how this guy from this university gave us some tips that we can use it from a professional way, but also from other one. So I want to listen your own opinion.
Okay. Well, I watched the video and I think it's very interesting and useful because we use internet every day. So we need cybersecurity. And if I start talking about my country, we don't have norms or rules to protect cybersecurity. And also when people commit some crime, don't have norms para basarnos en eso.
Base it on it.
Okay.
Base it on it.
Based on it. For example, I have an example.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I watched a post on Facebook of my classmate, English classmate. This girl was pregnant. She had a relation with a boy, and after 2 months of relation, she was pregnant, and the ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend of this boy stole all the information of this girl. I mean, the score at the university, the score at the English Institute, and actually her photos post on Facebook with aggressive message, with actually evil message,
Yeah.
because she started talking about her son. She also said something like, I hope you kid will born with some problem, healthy problem, something like that. It was too cruel. And this girl was too sad. She was affected for this post because this girl stole everything, and actually she started adding all her friends. She posted all her photos, and she went to the doctor. She could lose her baby, and she couldn't start a process because we don't have some specific process when we are talking about cyber crime.
Yeah.
I think it's necessary to change that, because if we have some prosecutor that has knowledge in system and laws, it will be easy to start a process, because maybe this prosecutor can find some evidence, because maybe the prosecutor will know about coding, about the area where the post will send to other people, and I think it will be it will be easier, because this girl wanted to start a process, but the process it is expensive and it takes a lot of time. All this type of evidence, all this type of activities or action is not like evidence, because to consider evidence, we need a request of the prosecutor. But in this case, prosecutor doesn't have idea about how to use the red or things that maybe a professional of system knows. So I think that we need to change that, because, for example, that girl could lose her baby. She had affected psychological, and she had to pay for the hospital, and nobody can redress for all this damage. We know that it's a damage. It's like maybe something, it's not something like physical damage, but it's psychological damage. But everything that happened on internet is not considered like material to start a process. And that happened if some company steal money to other company. If you can show that, it's difficult to win the case.
Yes, I understand. It's so crazy. Everybody, it's getting worse about how publish their daily life all time. Can you see it? It's so crazy.
Yes.
So after I start to study these topics, I figure out that I want to protect myself a little bit more. I had like public social medias. And after I start to see all the problems that I can get from there, I just put it private.
Yes, but
It's better.
yeah, but I don't know how this girl can steal all the information, for example, about university, who was her professor or at the institute, and the objective it was damage this girl, but at the same time we are talking about some. It's not like a steer. It could be some, I don't know, se me fue en español el nombre, como hurtar toda la información.
Take or stole.
Yes, all the,
Robar.
stole all the information. And I think that is a crime too, because she obtained in bad way all the information. And that happened the same, for example, at the bank. There were cases when you want to pay something, and maybe when you was making the transferencia, other people that have
The transfer.
the transfer, other people that use very well the programs steal your money, and so the bank never receive your money. And when you go to the bank and ask for the money, they say, I have never received. And that action is a crime because other person obtain your money, but we don't have a specific norm to start a process. So the banks use all their own cyber security. They pay for some programs to protect her client at the same time their money. But I think we need to add maybe some norms for cyber crime.
Yes. In my country exist.
Yeah, we don't have.
Yes, in my country we have it. And it's just so crazy because it's so hard to prove it. You need a lot of technical matters.
Yeah, yes, I think that maybe we need some specialists. I think the prosecutor maybe needs some knowledge about system or program to try to find information.
Yes, I know. This is so crazy. It's so crazy enough. Yeah. So in this area, I guess that when we doesn't have a lot of information, it's a really special space to grow up. It's a really special space where you can find a lot of scenarios to maybe build and support and helps your own country and community if you are interested in this area, of course. Because at some point, I believe that you can take inspirations by other legal systems that are stronger.
Yes, sorry, I don't know if you are listening. Some noise, sorry.
¿Me escuchaste?
Yes, but no very well because it is raining a lot. Actually, there are little noise.
Okay. I was telling you that at some point that your country has not a lot of development in this area, you can take the role or the inspiring role to try to help and propose some rules that can help a lot of people. You don't have idea about how many crazy ones start to stealing information and using it and being aggressive and like being completely against the reputation of someone for different things, for jealous, because they are quite psycho. But any case, and it's really, I kind of see it like as an opportunity, because if doesn't exist a really strong regulation in your country about it, maybe you can become the ones that can help to improve it or talk about it, or be related. And it's
Yeah.
supposed to be a crime, if someone is.
Someone is affected. What happened if they, yes, I think that is a good option. Try to start with this, because I thought that time, what happened if the baby died? So how can she can prove that it was because she was really affected for all the post? Because so it is difficult. I thought how she can prove that it was the ex-girlfriend, because after a pair of days the post was deleted. But almost everybody know that, because she was a model and she was like a recognized person.
Mhm.
So I think these topic are very interesting, especially when you don't have in your country, and try to maybe use other legislation like an example.
Yeah, you can also get inspired by some international rules that exist for protect the dignity and etc. But that we have developed crimes about it, it's really hard to prove it. So it's just crazy. We are like completely unprotected, and it's incredible how everything is online, but the law is not moving at the same level.
Yes,
So
it's
it's
not.
something that I really wanted to share. This this video, I really love it because of the way that he exposed and makes you think about even your personal stuff. As I told you before that video, when I saw it the first time, it's like, fuck, I am going to put everything private again.
Okay. Yes, I think I will check my Facebook again, and I will try to put private again, because I remember this case and it is worrying, because they are crazy people.
Yes, is it? People is crazy.
Yeah, so also sometimes a other person just like a joking can use your picture and offer your service, so they are crazy.
Yeah, and also, like make some other crimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so crazy. Okay, Andrea, thank you so much for your time. I will see you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Espero que te mejores pronto.
Thank you so much. I am trying to deal with my existence. Yes, I will get better soon, I hope.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Hi, Valeria, how are you? How do you feel after
Better.
your surgery?
I'm better. It starts to, I don't know how to say, cicatrizar.
Yeah.
It's like a process, but I'm taking a good way.
Yeah.
You,
Great.
today was your your ex day.
Dime.
O sea, hoy día fue tu día X, que te pusiste re mal.
Ah, sí, fue horrible. Today, we can talk about, sorry, that I was thinking about, when you have an scar, es como está en ese proceso de cicatrización. Scar puede significar cicatriz, pero también proceso de cicatrización. ¿Ok? Para que, or it's just, yeah, it's like healing. You can also say it. Está sanando. And about me, yes, I don't know. Remember that last week My family were so sick, and I was like so strong. I was like taking care of them and support them. But today I get completely fuck it. I don't know what happened. I guess that it's because for all the stress that I am having at the office, maybe my immune system goes down and I catch it. I don't know if, or maybe the same virus takes more time to come to me. So
Mm,
it's
can
just
be.
crazy. I can't believe it.
I think that you have to make the proof if you're positive.
Yeah, the
Because
thing is like
you
right now that I am my mom travel, so I am with a nurse that is taking care of my grandma, but I am
oh,
like so apart because my grandma, it's really bad. Um she cannot have contact. Even I believe that is COVID because at some point flu is not COVID at these times.
yeah.
So yeah, I am feeling so weak. My legs hurts, but also my belly because I don't know what is happening. My period wants to kills me. But I need to finish with the times that I have to. So it was like, okay, the way is like I am destroyed, but it's not necessary that you check me destroy it. So I can avoid my face of and I can give my lesson. So sounds like a podcast, but thank you so much for understand. And I hope that you feel better soon and that you can like have your trip on peace, you know? When you
Yes,
told me that you had a surgery, it was like fuck because I remember your trip.
yes. I put like a crazy when the doctor says me that I have to have a surgery. But now I think that I can have the trip as a normal thing. 1 week more and I think like I'm going to be like a new person.
Yeah.
And
You need
I
to take
think
care
that
so
you're
much.
going to recover.
Yeah, you need to take care of so much of you because that post-operatory process is the most careful one. So you need to don't do any force. Try to let your own body that heal itself.
Yes, I'm trying to sleep and take my vitamins and things like that because I know that that type of things helps a lot, no? And I think that for you also, for your
Yes,
period, you
I
have
am
to take some
trying.
vitamins.
Yes, I am trying. Today I was like, I cannot work anymore. I will suspend, and tomorrow I wake up early and I finish the documents that I need to present because at some point you are connected to hours, but you just advance a couple of paragraphs. So doesn't make sense because you are not fulfilled. You are not in conditions. So I am literally I am laid in my bed giving the lesson, seeing the top of my of my room, and after this I'm just going to bed and rest because sometimes it's the way that your body tells you that you need to take your time.
Yes, it's a way of your body
Yes.
that you have to take care of you, but you are going to recover and we have to be positive.
Yeah, I need to check it. Okay, Valeria. So let me know if you have time to video about this cyber security and cyber crimes. What is your opinion about it?
Yes, I saw it. I think that it's a topic that we don't talk about because we trust in the network and that type of things. I the speech of the man put puts me in a position to think that we trust a lot and we put a lot of things that shouldn't be in network. I think that uh, the part that he says that you can be sure that you're on a secure position. It's one of the most interesting, sorry, my tongue, interesting things that I can watch in the video. And I think that about cybersecurity, all the people that use the network and this type of things don't put like I don't know how to say, como algo primordial.
Yeah, like something crucial.
Like something crucial, because you put on risk your economy, your personal life, and that type of things. You don't know when there can be a hacker or something like that. And I think that the people, it's like using only for use. And the most part of the people don't think about the insecurity and things like that.
Yeah, I was telling to your colleague that was my case. Before I was like, oh yes, my profile on Instagram were public. And after I start to study this kind of topics, it's like, how the hell I am being so irresponsible? Because it's having access to your life, to what are you doing daily, where you are, also your image, what you do. So I put it in private. One time that I start to have contact with this information, I just put it in private, and I promise myself to don't be stupid anymore.
Also, I think that the topic of stealing photos here in Bolivia is so normal, and make fake accounts to make some, I don't remember, some lends, préstamos, some
Yes.
money lends,
Yes.
and things like that. There's a lot of that type of cases. And I think that the people don't put the attention that deserves. And also, the other day also, I put it again my Instagram account into private, because I was in Facebook and there was my photo in ex profile, and I was so scared, but there was nothing like bad, but they was using my photos. And I was so scared.
So crazy. No, it's just some crazy people around.
Yes. There's a lot of people with problems, with mental problems.
Yeah, with mental issues.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. I always like to use this information because from whatever thing that are you doing, first of all, you can improve your personal matters. You can make some changes. Oh, sorry. Then if you are working, for example, with government at some point of your life, maybe you can take value of all of this information and figure out that maybe it's time that the government take other position. But it's just for personal, you don't know when you can use this information, but also for professional can be an scenario when you can grow up and help each other at some point of your career. So it's always te estaba